Hello, my beautiful people. Welcome to this workshop. Release, regulate, and rise. Build your life from love in 2026. My name is Alina. I'm really happy you're here. And I hope you will take the most from this workshop, from this lesson. You will integrate it. You will do the exercise that I suggest in the end of the workshop. And you will start your 2026 feeling confident, feeling the renewed sense of purpose, the renewed energy. And you will leave all your patterns, all these toxic cycles that you've been going through in the past several years in 2025. All right. I'm really happy to talk about this topic today, to be honest, because it took me years and years of personal self-discovery practice as a coach and many clients to realize that this is the key to abundant, fulfilling, and happy living. Regulated nervous system is a fundament for any life changes, any shifts, any positive changes in your life. It's a fundament, and this is the key. You cannot build anything new if your fundament is unstable, right? So this is exactly why we are talking a lot about nervous system regulation today, about releasing anxiety, about patterns, like the most common patterns that we follow in life that keep us stuck, and how to break free from them. But before we begin, I invite you to check in with yourself. How do you feel right now? Not in your mind, but in your body. Do you hold any tension? Do you hold your breath? Do you feel any pressure in your body? I invite you to take a deep breath in and exhale through your mouth. Release this tension. Let's take another deep breath in and exhale. Very nice. And another deep breath in. And gently exhale all the tension from your body. Beautiful. Feels better, right? This is the power of breath. And this is just a tiny bit of work that we can do to help ourselves to overcome challenges in life and build something beautiful and create something beautiful in our life from this state of calm and inner peace. All right, let's begin. So I know 2025 has been very challenging for most of us. We had a lot of lessons, we had a lot of challenges, things were not going as planned, and it felt like the whole world is against you. But what was actually happening, the world is never against you, it's always for you. And every lesson, every challenge it sends to you is for something, is a lesson, helps you to learn, it helps you to grow and evolve. And you can take your lessons with suffering, or you can take your lessons with gratitude, learn from them, integrate the learning, and build something new from this new realization and insight. So it's very important to learn your lessons and to break the toxic cycles, because if you don't do that, we keep repeating them over and over again, looping and looping for many, many years in relationships, in career, in business, in any area of your life. And I don't want you to loop. I don't want you to stay in the same cycle, right? I really wish to every single person watching this video to break the toxic cycle you're in. And maybe for many years, you're not realizing that you are in a cycle, and that's okay too. It's totally fine. Right now is exactly the time. And right now you're going to see your pattern, going to see that cycle, right? So most of the time we don't see our patterns because they're in the blind zone. This is why it's really important to learn how to use a helicopter view so you can look at your life from kind of above and see what's going on really. And I know it requires awareness. It requires a lot of inner work to be able to see your blind spots. And often we need someone to actually show us what's going on. Now let's talk about 2026 energy. 2026 is going to be about expansion. It's going to be about marriages, business growth, babies, you name it, right? Abundance, love. But only if we understand what kind of lessons we learned in 2025, integrate them, and stop following the patterns. So we start following the new patterns, right? And ones that will empower us, the ones that will make us create that kind of life. So it's very important to release everything so you can step into 2026 feeling like a new person, feeling like you were reborn, feeling like you are capable of achieving anything that you really want. Because 2026 will require action from you, but not just any action. Because it's about the feminine energy, it's going to be about relaxation, wisdom, intuition. Not the action from hustle, not the action. So expansion doesn't respond to fear-based hustle. It responds to relaxation. It responds to the frequency of abundance. It responds to the rich mindset. I want you to know that. And before we dive into the patterns, I want to share something personal with you. I've been living in survival mode for years. I think more than 10 years for sure. This pattern was coming from my childhood, from my family, because my family used to live this way and I learned it unconsciously. So it wasn't my conscious choice to follow this pattern. And it's really hard to see that there is something else. There is another way of living. Because I've been following it since I'm a kid. I didn't know a different lifestyle, didn't know a different mindset. I was just following what was given to me by my family, by society I was raised in. Anyway, so the moment I realized I'm following this pattern, I was really shocked because honestly, it was in a blind zone and I thought it's just a normal thing and everybody lives like this. I was constantly stressed. I was constantly thinking about money. I was constantly thinking about negative scenarios. Like I was all the time just programming myself on negative scenarios in my life. Like, what will I do if my partner leaves me? Or what will I do if I lose my job? Or what will I do if I'm not going to get any clients next month? So these were my automatic thoughts for years. Imagine. And of course, I was manifesting this into my reality because I was thinking about it constantly without even realizing that. And also I thought it's normal. I thought everybody thinking about negative scenarios. So of course I was constantly in fight or flight. My nervous system was dysregulated. I was feeling a lot of anxiety. I was waking up overwhelmed, anxious, even though everything from outside looked fine in my life. I had a good job. I was traveling the world. I had a loving partner. Everything was fine. But in my mind, I was constantly limiting myself. I wasn't living an abundant life, even though outside it looked abundant, but inside I felt really poor in many ways. And I want you to check in with yourself. Do you also have these automatic thoughts all the time? Because if you do, they are the reason you are living the reality you are living. This is the reason you are experiencing what you're experiencing right now. And it's already proven by science, it's already proven by neuroscience that this is exactly how it works because we perceive the world through the prism of our minds. And the world, let's say it's 100% and we only see 5%. So we don't see the opportunities, we don't see the abundance, we don't see love if we keep looking through the prism of negative beliefs and limiting beliefs. So the moment I saw this pattern in me, I could not unsee it anymore. I was like, how could I betray myself? How could I not love myself so much that I was just following this pattern blindly, thinking that I'm surviving in this world instead of enjoying this world, instead of creating from joy and pleasure, instead of loving unconditionally, instead of like just feeling this life with every cell of my body as a woman should. Like our feminine nature is so beautiful. It's all about pleasure. It's all about sensitivity, sexuality, joy, and we really forgot about this. Yes, the system is built this way that we have to forget this because it's a patriarchal system, but you can make your choice. There is always a choice. You can choose to live differently. So the moment I've chosen to see this world differently, I worked a lot with my mind, with my body through hypnosis, meditation, somatic practices. This helped me a lot to anchor a new state of being, the state of abundance, the state of joy, the state of love, instead of that survival mode and fight or flight all the time. So actually fight or flight is a natural response to stress. We have 5 natural responses to stress here. You can see all of them. They're all natural. So it only depends on how long you are staying in the state. It's okay to react as fight or flight. It's okay to freeze, but it should last maybe for 30, 60 seconds. And then you, again, conscious and make a conscious positive choice and create a positive change. But we keep stuck in this state for too long, sometimes for hours, days, weeks, years. Why do we do that? Because our nervous system is dysregulated, and for our nervous system, it's normal. It's normal state. What we want to do is we want to change the state, obviously. We don't want to be in fight or flight anymore all the time because it's exhausting. It's really exhausting and it's not natural. Like ideally, we need to expand our window of tolerance to stress because stress will always be there. Suffering is optional. But stress will always be there. Challenges will always be there. And it's not about not having any challenges or problems in life. It's about learning to respond to these challenges, tackle them, and move on with peace. So it's about solving the problem instead of running around the problem. All right? All right, let's move on. So I want you to see that I'm talking from experience. It didn't work just for me. It worked for all my clients. Here's some example. For example, Vlada, she came to me completely lost. She was working a corporate job she hated. And yeah, she was constantly in fight or flight, feeling anxious, waking up with pressure in her chest, not knowing why she wants to cry and so sad all the time. And we discovered that she's just not on her path. This is not her path. She is naturally very creative, and her path is creative, to be a creative, to create clothes. And this is what she started doing. She created her own brands, and now she is very successful brand owner in Barcelona. She sells her beautiful vintage corsets and different boutiques, and they are just amazing. She was made for this career, for this job. And I'm really proud of what we achieved in just 2.5 months. So we just switched from survival mode to creative mode, It happens really fast if you really work wisely with your mind and with your body. Another client of mine is Alexandra. She came to me also in survival mode. She was like, I don't know why, but I feel anxiety. I feel this pressure all the time. I feel like I have not achieved anything in life, etc. But her real purpose in this period of her life was motherhood. She was really ready to become a mom. She was in a beautiful, fulfilling relationship. And apparently, her new path was about motherhood. And she felt a lot of anxiety and fear about that path as well. But once we really dived deeper into it and released all these beliefs about motherhood, it started to become really aligned. So now she's aligned with that path. She's really happy in a happy marriage. Yeah, this case makes me feel really happy and fulfilled. Other clients of mine move into new countries because they've been wanting for many years, writing books, publishing books, changing career, getting upgrades, getting promotions. And it's all because they actually learned to accept, learned to receive, and faced their true desires and realized that true desires is not an illusion. It's not something that they can never achieve. It's actually made for them. If you really want something with your heart, it means it's for you, and it means it's your path, and you can walk this path and get it. So I'm really proud of my cases and my clients, and I know it's possible for everyone. The moment you start seeing the truth and your true self, this is the moment you can't unsee it. This is the moment when you will naturally want to walk this path, and all the fears won't be on your way anymore. Most people feel stuck because they think they're lazy, but this is not true. Most of the time, our unconscious patterns manage our actions. Our nervous system patterns used to keep us safe, but now they limit us. So while I'm naming these patterns and describing them, notice how you feel, what resonates with you, check in with your body, what feels familiar. So the first pattern is victim mode. Victim mode is when we feel really discouraged, when we don't feel powerful at all, when we try to blame the circumstances, the government, economy, other people. We don't take the responsibility. We feel that everything is against us, the whole world is against us. And this is a very discouraging pattern. It doesn't help us evolve, obviously, because we don't take responsibility for our actions. And of course, we can't grow from this. Because of this pattern, missed opportunities. And I want you to ask yourself, where am I still waiting for someone to save me? Maybe you even know who you're waiting for to save you. Maybe it's your partner, your family, someone else. Maybe you rely on them too much. The next pattern is survival mode. This is when you're stuck in anxiety and overthinking loop. And this is also very discouraging and doesn't help you to move on in life, because instead of doing the action, you overthink the action. And you keep pushing from pressure, not from pleasure. You make decisions from fear, not from clarity and love. And the cost of this, poor results, burnout, feeling low, feeling like you're failing, feeling that you constantly have to do more, but then you're stuck in the cycle of burnout. In this state, you make wrong choices because you make them from fear. And the question here is, what choices do you make from fear in your life? Be honest with yourself. The next one is inner child mode or infantilism. This is when you are waiting for someone to rescue, for someone to be your parent, instead of being your own parent, because you're not a child anymore, right? So you avoid responsibility, you avoid making decisions, you always rely on someone else. And the cost of this is losing your independency, losing your authority, your power. I want you to ask yourself, who do I rely on to handle things in my life? I want you to be really honest here. Is my favorite because most of my clients have this pattern, is perfectionism or over controlling. So it seems like being perfect is a good thing. Trying to do things perfectly is a good thing, but not always, because often we overthink our choices, our actions, and instead of actually taking an action from an impulse and intuition, we delay them and we miss opportunities. So the cost is missed opportunities. And my question here is, Where am I waiting for a perfect moment? Like, am I waiting for a perfect moment to move to another country, start a new relationship or career? Be honest. Number 5, people pleasing mode. This is when your body says no, but you say yes. When you try to fit in into someone else's life. When you seek approval to feel safe. When you really sacrifice your time, your energy just to please someone. And the cost of this is losing yourself. This is a huge cost. So I want you to ask yourself, where am I adapting at the cost of myself? Number 6 is spiritual bypassing or passive trust. This is when we rely too much on our manifestation practices, rituals, and we trust the universe way too much without taking any action. I mean, trust in the universe is great. I love that spirituality now is so popular and people study it, but it doesn't work without aligned action. So if you keep avoiding action and waiting for the signs, waiting for the perfect moment, waiting for universe to guide you, but you don't move, this is when you also miss opportunities. You slow yourself down. You will not grow from this because universe loves action, aligned action. So I want you to answer a question. Where am I waiting for signs instead of taking responsibility? Number 7 is hyper-independency. In the modern world, it's really cool now to be hyper-independent. It's actually really promoted on social media to be independent, to be single, and stuff like that. But unfortunately, it's coming from trauma. Yes, like if you're single and you're self-sufficient and independent, this is great. But hyper-independency is something different. This is when we are not asking for help. This is when we are always like, I know better, I can do it better, I can do it myself. But the world is created the way that we need other people. And we need to learn to ask for help and receive help. There should be balance. You're not like a closed system. You're an open system, and you need to communicate and exchange energy and other things with other people. Otherwise, at some point, you will feel really lonely in a bad way. And at some point, something will happen, the situation like sickness or something else, when you will not be able to be hyper independent anymore. But I encourage you to avoid this moment because you don't want to learn it hard way. Try to learn to ask for help right now before you are forced to ask for help. So the cost of hyper independency is loneliness and blocked intimacy. And the question that you can ask here is, where am I not receiving support that could help me? And the last one is identity attached to suffering. Is when our whole personality becomes about suffering. We think this is just who we are. We attract negative scenarios, negative people. We can't attract opportunities. We have to suffer in this life. The cost of this, of course, blocked joy. Blocked joy and this loss of identity because we are afraid to become a new person, next level self. We get stuck in this miserable self. And I want you to ask you, where do I keep suffering? Where am I not releasing the suffering? I hope you gain some clarity here, but I don't want you to walk away with just information. I want you to walk away with practical steps and deep understanding of what's going on and what pattern you keep following or what patterns you keep following. So I've prepared a practice for you, an exercise that will help you to see these patterns clearly and to start releasing them. If you want to get this practice, please message me on Instagram, Rise. This practice and exercise will help you rise. It will help you to reset and to start creating your new identity and new chapter in your life. Again, message me Rise on Instagram and I will send you this practice. Also, if you really want to go deeper one-on-one, because it's really hard to reflect yourself, I know. It's really hard to heal yourself, and often we need someone to just guide us hand by hand. I invite you for a free clarity call with me. You can apply clicking the link down here on this page. Just fill up some information about you and I will contact you and invite you for a call if it feels aligned. This is not a sales call. This is a deep dive call so we can really see what patterns you're following, how to break them, how to finally regulate your nervous system to receive more, to create more, and to be more. So as I'm closing this workshop, I want to remind you that abundance is not coming from doing more. It comes from your nervous system regulated, capable of receiving more. And it's your choice to claim your gifts, to claim that free call. It's a great opportunity for you to reset, to clear everything from the past year and step into the new year feeling more aligned. I'm really excited, and click the link below, join the call, listen to your body wisdom, listen to your intuition, and hope to meet you personally.